With 124,000 schools closed across the United States due to the spread of COVID-19, more than 55 million students have been impacted. Parents are now balancing working from home with the added responsibility of homeschooling their children.
I'm also a working mom, so I'm at home taking care of my kids and trying to teach at the same time and have a puppy who's barking nonstop.
Being a parent during the quarantine has taken on a whole new dimension. Here are some words of wisdom from teachers of all grade levels around the country. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but academic experts recommend leaning into resources provided by your school and using their techniques as much as possible.
The schools are the content experts. They're the ones who know the curriculum. They understand that the parents are working in conjunction with the students, so they're not feeling alone or isolated.
Here are some things to keep in mind when you're checking through assignments.
More than just the product or the outcome of the learning, what you also want to be mindful of is the process. Are they learning? Do they have their thinking skills? Are they able to write coherently? And is that progressing?
If you're in need of a creative activity, try an art history analysis by picking out a painting or photograph and studying it together.
You look at the piece of art or the painting or the image, you interpret it, and you can even do it with your child together. What do you think as a parent about this piece of art? Why are you thinking that? Kind of think out loud.
And if all else fails and you're really short on activities,
just read books. And the conversations that come from reading books with children will amaze a lot of people. And then you've learned for the day by reading a few books, or even if it's a chapter book, read some chapters in that book and then just talk about it.
One of the most important things you can do is set a schedule for both you and your kids. Keeping everyone on routine is important.
Make sure that everyone has a rhythm to the day and making sure that the young people are part of that.
So really make sure that you have a start and stop time for their schoolwork, just like they would regularly. Say, hey, if we get through 75% of what we thought we were going to do today, we're doing a good job.
Some students learn better when taught in segments rather than in the span of several hours at a time.
If you are trying to teach, rather, do it in 15-minute bursts. Don't overwhelm the kids because kids actually absorb a lot of information when they're not overloaded.
It's important to give older students autonomy over their work. For that,
Google Docs might be really helpful with having a student use Google Docs for writing purposes. The student can work independently. The parent can then review whenever they do have time, if they're balancing work, if they're balancing other responsibilities. So it's a nice way to keep track of writing or learning, but then also provide input.
Younger children need more stimulation and structure throughout the day, and a good way to keep them focused is by making projects fun.
For parents that are new to being trapped indoors with your wonderful children, make sure that you are doing a lot of projects. Try to offer a lot of independence and just get them to think critically about what they're doing.
And be sure to schedule in time to connect with friends they normally meet up with.
Their socializing during this time is so limited. My concerns mostly are just their lack of connection with other students.
For that, we also have some special advice from our Sesame Street correspondent, Abby Kadabi.
Abby Kadabi here. I'm at home on Sesame Street with my family, but my mommy set up this really cool video chat space so I can be in touch with my friends like Cookie and Elmo. We're having sing-alongs and story time and even some dance parties. And it's all over video.
For parents who are raising students with special needs, there are several ways to keep students engaged throughout the day.
Special ed kids work best with a schedule. Some of them might need pictures for their schedule. And when you give directions, review the directions with them and have them repeat the directions so you know they understand it. Also with special ed kids, it's very important, use real life objects to represent things. If you're doing a math worksheet and it's 2 + 2, have 2 stuffed animals plus 2 stuffed animals. Break their work down into small steps so it's more achievable for them. When you're reading stories, it might sound funny, but make voices for the characters. This way it'll keep them more entertained.
Can we build a snowman?
It's impossible to do it all. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay.
I feel like as a parent and a teacher, I've fallen short in pretty much everything I've tried to do, but I have had to accept that and be pretty forgiving of myself.
Kids are resilient and all ages are going to be okay. Nobody's going to be totally ruined academically because of this.
Just don't try to replicate school at home because it's a totally different environment. Just keep it light, keep it fun. You live and you learn. Just by living, you're learning a lot.